Hi, this is Courtney with Inside Out with Courtney, and this week's 2-minute message is how to get rid of a bad attitude. Okay, ladies, we know that every day is not going to be a peachy creamy day. Sometimes we will have situations and circumstances that will happen. People will say and do things that will aggravate us or get us upset. And what happens is that comes out in our attitude. A lot of the attitude has to do with the mindset. According to the dictionary, it has to do with your mindset. What are you thinking about? What do you constantly have roaming around in your head about the circumstance or about what the person may have said or done to you? You have to be able to release it and replace it with something positive versus constantly thinking about the negative, because it's going to come out in your actions on the outside. So deal with the inside. A book that I'm going to recommend this week is called Lord, Change My Attitude Before It's Too Late. And that is by James McDonald. And I just want to read you the table of contents because it's really, really powerful. Number 1, it says replace a complaining attitude with an attitude of thankfulness. It actually says with a thankful attitude. Philippians 2:14 tells us do all things without complaining and arguing. So think about that. All right. So if you find yourself start complaining, replace it and start thanking God for some things that is happening in your life. OK. Then it says replace a covetous attitude with an attitude of contentment. So instead of coveting other people's things, you begin to get upset when you start coveting. Okay, it changes your outward attitude. Instead, replace it with an attitude of contentment. Be content with what God has already given you, because guess what? He has great things in store for you as well. Okay. Then it says replace a critical attitude with an attitude of love. If you are being critical, you need to capture that, think about that, and say, Lord, help me not to be critical, and to replace that with an attitude of love. Remember, love covers a multitude of sins, and we show our love through our actions, okay? Then it says replace a doubting attitude with an attitude of faith. If you are doubting, it's going to change your outward appearance. It's going to change your face, your countenance. All right, it's going to show what's happening on the inside. It's going to come outside. So with that, believe God. Change that with an attitude of faith. Hebrews 11:1 says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So even when you can't see, you keep believing. And then lastly, replace a rebellious attitude with an attitude of submission. If you feel yourself getting rebellious or beginning to rebel in certain ways, then replace that attitude, because it's going to start coming out in you. Replace that with an attitude of submission. If you have a boss, a leader, your husband, just change it. Change your actions in that state, because you don't want to be rebellious. The Bible says do not associate with rebels in Proverbs, okay? So I pray that this has helped you, has ministered to you in some way, in some capacity. Remember, a lot of attitude has to do with your mindset. So change your mind and change your life. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me with this week's 2-minute message. You have a blessed week, my sister.